so we're going to start cooking a basic tomato sauce. So simple, so delicious, and most of us should be able to get these ingredients now. So let's start. Let's take a tiny bit of oil into the bottom of your pan, and we're going to start warming that pan up because we want to do this as quickly as possible. And of course, because I cleaned the hob, I didn't put the ring on properly. So we're on nice and low right now because there's nothing in the pan. How to prepare an onion. So we're going to cut the top off. You might need to take some tough outer layers off first. Just going to take off the top. Okay? Keeping your fingers out the way. And then, see that little bit at the bottom? Just take that off. But don't completely remove it because it's going to hold the onion together as you chop it. Okay? Keep your chopping board nice and clean because you don't want any of that on your onion. So, cut it on the top, the bottom. Now, I'm going to go down the middle. So you can usually tell if there's an outer, slightly rubbish layer of onion. And that's going to be tough and hard to soften. So, just peel that off. Okay? So I'll just show you. It's like that tough layer. It looks like that. And it leaves you with a nice pale white onion. Now, if you've only got red onions, this works just as well with red onions, okay? So, hi Helen. So here comes the magic. Okay, so we're going to take our knife, keep our fingers out of the way. We're going to go towards the base of the onion, okay? So I'll do that with the other one. We're going towards the base. So if I hold it up to the camera, I've cut that way along. So now all I've got to do, and I'm going to do this nice and small because we want to cook this sauce quickly. We haven't got time to be spending in the kitchen though. Right now we have. So I'm just going to thinly go across the other way now, keeping your fingers out the way. You're supposed to have a claw, I think, so that if you were to slip, it would hit your nail. Now sometimes some of the outer layers come away, so you do that. Just get rid of that if that happens. So make that claw, and then if the knife slips, it goes into your nails. So we're holding the onion together as we are slicing horizontally along. And then by the end of this, that layer's a bit tough and old and annoying me. Just going to get rid of that. We're going to go to the end, okay? As I say, same thing with the red onion. And there you should see you've got little diced onions. So that's going into the pan. That's been preheated. So want to give that a stir. Keep it moving. We don't really want it to colour. So at this stage, what I would do is I would add a pinch of salt, because then what's going to happen is that draws the moisture out of the onions and it stops, the water stops them caramelizing and going brown. So now I've actually turned the heat up a bit because I'm going to try and get this done quickly for you and just show you how quick and easy it is. So could have done with 2 cameras, but just in there, pinch of salt. Okay, and I'm going to keep moving that round whilst I chop up some garlic. So I'm going to use 2 quite large plump cloves just because I like it garlicky. But again, you can customize this, put less garlic in if you don't like garlic. Same as we did with the onion, and we're going to top and tail the garlic. This garlic is the best I've had in yonks, and I actually bought it at Iceland ages ago, and it's kept so well. And yeah, it's just really good. So we're just going to peel the papery outside of the garlic off. If you've got a really fine grater, that can be really good and save you some time in chopping this up. But I'm going to presume we don't have a fine grater. Don't forget to keep coming back to that pan and stirring it. So I'm going to cut down the garlic clove that way. Then I'm going to go the opposite direction, vertically, before coming across like we did with the onion. So it's very similar, only this time we haven't kept the bottom on to keep it nice and firm. Okay, there's one done. Gonna do another now, keeping those fingers out the way. So garlic, onion, brilliant base. Always need those. The bases of this sauce. So if there's any big bits, you just go back in with your knife and cut them up. Right, this needs to go in to the pan now, and it's going to smell amazing in your kitchen like it is in mine. Right now, I'm finding I'm being so much less wasteful with food. I'm trying not to chuck anything away. So if you have any leftover tomatoes or tomatoes that are going overripe, as Catherine Ben said she did, you can just chop them up and whack them in to this, and I'll tell you when you can add them. So you can see the onions hopefully are now changing colour. They're going a bit more translucent, and the garlic's in there now. It's smelling amazing. So I said to you to get some fennel seeds. Fennel adds the most amazing flavour to tomato sauces. Now this is if we're going Italian. If we're not going Italian, ignore this step. I am going to use a pestle and mortar just to break up the seeds a bit. So I'm going to say a teaspoon of fennel seed. Again, this is kind of an optional step. I'm just going to bash them down and grind them. So they've got quite a tough outer shell, and if you've got fussy eaters in your house, they're probably going to be like, what's that? There's grass in my dinner, there's grass seed. I don't know. Sort of got an aniseedy flavour, but really savoury. This is my top tip, always, for anything like a bolognese. Now, if at home you've only got Italian herbs, add a teaspoon of those in. Oregano, again, great. So, there we go. We've got some fennel seeds in. Let me put that to one side. We've used that now. Sorry if I just deafened you with that. So we're just sweating off the onion and the garlic. You can get both of those ingredients, both the garlic and the onion, frozen, chopped. But today I just wanted to show you some knife skills. Hi Sarah, hi Shelley D. Oh, there's lots of you here joining me. Sorry, I should probably stop doing that. So we've gently cooked the fennel, the garlic and the onion, and now we're gonna, because I'm making this quickly, I'm turning the heat up now. So I'm on about medium-high. Then I'm adding a can of tinned tomatoes. And I'm sure you can hear that sizzling away. So what we want to do to intensify the flavour is there's a lot of water in tomatoes, which is why in a minute we're going to add some tomato puree. to intensify the flavour of anything like that, intensify, good talk there, we evaporate water because then the flavour is more concentrated. Now, you don't want to waste anything at the minute, so I've just added a splash of cold water, because if you use hot water, I know I've got it from the kettle but it's cold, you'll heat up the can and burn your fingers. So just added that in. Now, if you are doing this at speed, what's going to happen is it's going to bubble a lot and it's going to splash your hob. I'm sorry, we've got to break some eggs to make this omelette, so you're going to have to clean your hob afterwards. So, now, what we're going to do, and don't forget, if you've got any questions, please ask in the comments. I'm going to add a good squirt of tomato puree. I'd say about a tablespoon, maybe even 2. So, cover my hand in it. Good work, Matt. And just stir that in now. So I just want you to see how wet and liquidy that is right now. I'm going to try and keep scraping down the sides because you don't want it to catch around the edge, which is where it's going to catch first. So I'm going to add some pepper right now. And then I am going to add, controversial, a teaspoon of sugar. If you don't have sugar, ketchup works well as well, because there's a lot of sugar in ketchup. In the natural canning process of tomatoes, some of the sugars, I don't know whether it's lost, destroyed, but it loses the natural sugars. So it's good to replace them. Otherwise, you just get this slightly acidic, metallic-y flavour sometimes. So I'm whacking that heat up because I'm going to try and do this by 1/4 past, not because I have anything else to do, but because I want you all to see how quick and easy this is. So while this is reducing live time, I'm going to talk to you about what you can do with this. So that sauce you can add to a bolognese, so you fry some mince off. And then you've got a really good bolognese that you can turn into lasagna, pasta bakes. You could add tuna, some sweet corn and turn that into a pasta bake. If you add some ginger, bit more garlic, some garam masala and curry powder, you've made a basis of a tomato curry. If you added some chorizo that you'd fried off, some smoked paprika, some peppers, you've got like a Spanish chicken. You could blend this up and have it as tomato soup. Add a splash of cream maybe, or you add a splash of milk. Just keep moving. Okay, let's see if I can show you. So I've got, can you see from there? Probably not. There's quite a rapid boil, and around the edge you'll be having lots of bubbles. Again, keep bringing it away from the side. And already you kind of see the tomato sauce richen. It's not as watery now. If you added courgette and aubergine, then you'd have a ratatouille. There is so much you could do. You could just have this on pasta with some cheese. But see how simple this is. So you don't need to go out and buy those packet jars of tomato sauce anymore, because they're packed with sugar, like crazy amounts of sugar, that you just don't need to. You've seen how much sugar's gone into this. We know everything that's gone into this. And yes, my hob is now becoming an absolute mess, but if you take more time and do it a bit more gently, you won't get quite so much splashage. Sorry, I'm struggling to speak still. Okay, we're nearly done, everyone. Nearly done with that tomato sauce. So you're looking for it to reduce by about 1/3, and you can usually tell because there's like this imaginary line around the edge of your pan where the tomato originally was. So we're nearly there. If you wanted, you know, some oregano, some fresh herbs from the garden would be good, some rosemary. I'm going to taste it now, because before you serve any food, you should always taste it. So, just blow on it. Okay, that just needs a tiny pinch more salt. And then I would say that will be done. And yes, I know I'm making a mess, but I'm going to turn that off now. So I would say that is done. It's reduced by half. Just want to bring it over to the camera. See how much thicker it is. You could take that even further if you wanted a thicker sauce. There we have a really simple, basic tomato sauce that, as I say, you can turn into curries, Spanish chicken, soup, ratatouille. I hope you're going to give this a go. Please, if you take any pictures, tag me in them. I want to see what you do. If you have any questions, any problems, do let me know. Things to be wary of. 1, don't burn the garlic and the onions in the beginning, because that will just give a bitterness to the whole sauce. So adding that pinch of salt at the beginning brings out the water from the onions to stop that happening. Buy the best quality tin tomatoes you can, because it does make a difference. That is one of the few things in the kitchen I won't scrimp and save on, tin tomatoes. But right now, if it's all you can get, fine. About halfway through, you could have added some fresh tomatoes. It's up to you if you want to skin them. I probably couldn't be bothered. And if you've got fussy eaters in the house who don't like the texture of onions and tomatoes, get a stick blender or let it cool and put it in your NutriBullet. Your NutriBullet is brilliant for getting smooth sauces, but it needs to be cold to do that. Otherwise, what happens is the pressure builds up, and when you open the lid, it like explodes in hot liquid, and it's messy and dangerous. So, but you can make it smooth. And yeah, I hope that helps. You can freeze this, everyone. Good tip. Let it cool down. Put it in some Tupperware. Put it in the freezer. You can write when you made it and what it is, so you know. And then when you come to make your bolognese, get it out for that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. If there's something else you want to learn to make, let me know. And I'll try and do this a bit more regularly if you are liking it. Thanks a lot. See ya.